Good morning, I'm Syed Ali Isnan Shah. I hope you're enjoying our channel SAHS. And we are today sat in Reading, Berkshire, UK. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. And we're here with Mr. Bob Ferguson, who is the communication expert at Zecofy and 3 times British and Irish speech championship winner. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning,
How are
Ali.
you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you very much. Yes, good to join you.
Thank you. So today I thought we would talk about the challenges, since you have got an expertise in communication. So our channel is about educating people how they can start business. What are the things that can make their business successful?
Yeah.
So can you please share with us the importance of communication within a business context? How important it is for people who wants to get into business?
Yeah.
How important is communication to make their business a success?
Yeah. It would be underplaying it to say it's vital if you want your business to succeed. There are many people who have bright ideas, develop them even sometimes into good products, but they just can't get them to marketplace. And sometimes even if they do get them to marketplace, they're failures. And that's a double communication failure. Your ability to get a product or an idea off the ground and into market comes from your ability to persuade the people that you want to back you that this is a good idea. And most people go about it the wrong way. They submerge their audience with information. I can prove that this is a good idea because I've got all this fact. But it's not what the audience is looking for. So by virtue of the first tip of this session, I would say always understand your audience when you go to speak to them, because that audience, I can guarantee, will be asking one question: what's in it for me? And every audience wants to know that. We know that ourselves from our own speaking.
Indeed.
And if you're not answering that very quickly, they'll switch off. But the second thing is the message needs to be short, punchy and emotional. So that when you go and you tell potential backers, or you're talking to the bank about getting a bank loan or an overdraft, that they can see the passion that you've got in you. Yes, you've got all the facts to support the fact that this is a good business, but they want to see that you're driven to succeed. And you need to get that emotion over. And often that's through stories, but that's probably a chat for another day, stories, because there's so much in it. But using stories can help get that emotion over. But even when you've got the bank's backing perhaps, or you've got an investor and your business is underway, it's still destined to fail if you can't get your message out to the marketplace. But ironically, speaking to the marketplace is very much like speaking to the bank or the backers, because the marketplace will be asking the same question: what's in it for me? Why should I buy this product? Why should I buy it now? And why should I buy it from you? And so all the messages that you put out, and there's a huge number of ways that you can do that now, through social media, through Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube channels, TikTok. And we're now seeing TikTok, which started out for teenagers dancing around in front of their camera, is now becoming a serious business tool. And that's all done on video. And all these messages contribute to your target audience understanding your message about what you can do to add value to their lives. So to come back to your original question, why is it important, or what's the importance of it? It is critical, because if you cannot communicate why you add value to your customers' lives, then your business will not succeed.
Excellent, Bob. I think I couldn't agree more with you on this. I came across people, from my experience, I can tell you that, as we were talking before, the importance of purpose. So same applies in the business as well, that you need to be very clear about your purpose, why you're starting the business in the first place, and then articulate it powerfully to your audience. So it could be the investors, as you mentioned. It could be the customers, the clients that you're trying to get attracted to your products, who you're trying to sell your product to. So it's very important that you are able to convey to them. Today, the world is full of so many identical products, and for you to stand out with your product, it has to have a clear differentiation. You need to spell out the differentiation to the clients, to customers. And secondly, it's about having the elevator pitch ready. So elevator pitch is critical. Elevator pitch is like one sentence in which you communicate what product are you working on, who is this product for the audience, and thirdly, what is your secret sauce? What is it that you're trying to do differently from other people who are already making similar product? So if you're able to communicate that effectively and within 30 seconds in one sentence, so if you get 30 seconds, you really need to know these are the bits I need to convey. If you get a chance to go into an elevator and you run into Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson, and you have to convince them of your idea. So this is where you need to have a crisp one-liner to state them how your product or your startup is solving some genuine problem. And secondly, if you get more time, so if you get them intrigued, you need like if you have 2 minutes, then you should be able to communicate effectively in 2 minutes. If you have got 5 minutes, then accordingly you cover it more. So it's very important that you cover it in a proper fashion. So Bob, have you come across businesses where you have seen the people who have started afresh but have failed because of this communication issue?
Yes, I have. I've seen lots of small businesses, and what they tend to do is focus on their own ideas. So if I can sort of link this with what you said about an elevator pitch, having that elevator pitch, that 30 seconds where you stand up and enunciate what you do, all the good things that you said, who your target market are and what your product does for them, that's all great. If you're in a networking event and people get the chance, you get the chance to introduce yourself, stand up for 30 seconds. However, I'm not sure I'd recommend it if you were in an elevator with Elon Musk. Because one thing that people love to talk about is themselves. And I'd suggest what you do is have a very short sentence about the problem that you solve and then ask an open question. So, for instance, I help organisations become more effective through better communication. Do you see communication problems in your organisation? And then normally the other person will open up and tell you what their problems are. And then instead of telling them all the details about your product, you can tell them how your product helps overcome their problems. Right. Because that's ultimately what people buy. They buy a way out of pain. And if they tell you what their pain is, then you can give them exactly the answer they're listening for.
Excellent. No, that's very good point. So Bob, in your career, how has it been? Have you always been an excellent speaker? Because sometimes I feel that we get inspired by people who are at the top of their game, and then we think that this is something they've been doing all the time.
No.
So how did you start? I think it will be important for somebody who is starting and how to be an effective communicator. Yeah. If somebody wants to make the business successful, and we are going to tell them, you need to be an excellent communicator. How do they get there, and what was your journey like?
Yeah. So when I started in engineering, presentations were just dire. I remember the big presentations with the ministry, and there were 2 rows of chairs around the table. There were so many people in there. They all came for the free lunch, of course. But after lunch, everyone in the back row was asleep. No one was interested in the presentation. Right. And they were just dire. And I have to admit that mine were just as dire too. Not only were they dire, but I detested speaking in public.
I see.
But my journey was to join Toastmasters International and pick up my skills and develop my skills. And the more I picked up, the more I realised how applicable they were in general business, right. And the way they could help me improve my business. But it's interesting what you say about people see people at the top of the game and they think they've been there all their lives. As you said at the beginning, I've won 3 UK and Ireland championships. And because I've won 3, which is an exceptional number, everyone assumes that you've won every competition you're in. And it's exactly the reverse. I've lost far more than I ever won because it's the taking part that develops the skill. Yeah, winning is fantastic. You can't top winning. But it's the taking part that develops the skill. And it's all those defeats that push me back to go and try harder. And that's what developed my skill. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
as they call the success, as they say, failure is a far better teacher than success.
Absolutely.
So you need to learn lessons and move on.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining, Bog. I really appreciate that you took time.
Pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed today's video with us, and we will be back with similar useful content. So if you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we share the similar content with you in the future. Thank you.